And before you come to such open meeting, you must have made contact with these people who I normally call those who say we own the land, those who own the community. Consider with other people, senses the efforts of others to educate them for leadership, and by this his efforts improves his leadership ability. A leader trusted by the community fosters participation in the decision affecting the lives and welfare of the people. If they trust you and you allow them to participate in taking decisions, like I've earlier mentioned, they will work with you. Leadership is an extension of an individual's inner self to other people and groups. What a leader is and does is conditioned by his beliefs, dedications, and ideas which he acquired from culture, the people, and the experiences that have influenced him, and this go a long way in affecting his fellowship among the people and the extent of success in developing the community. And these features, I say, are very important if you're a development agent and you are going to a community to bring in development. You need to know all these attributes, because when you are going as a development agent, you're automatically a leader. And you cannot run away from some of these attributes to make up and get what you want from such a community. Relationship among rural people. Relationships among rural people are personal, as I've said earlier, face to face, and the community leader is involved in the day-to-day activities of his community and has a better knowledge and understanding of them. A leader worthy of the name has the ability to lead and not to drive. A leader working with his people is expected to have the ability to summarize the objectives of his community, to help members analyze whether or not they are meeting such objectives. A leader should help his community to mobilize resources at their disposal to bear on the community's needs. A leader must work towards the community established goals and work with his fellow citizens directly to enable the community act in a corporate manner to achieve the said goals. He has to be guided by the understanding that the principle of community development is to bring about desirable changes for better living among the people of his community and hence the nation. This is also part of what he does. Citizens are willing to participate in community development when they have the trust and confidence in their leader. The leader then has to ensure that the citizens are involved in the planning, execution, utilization, and assessment of any project designed to improve their welfare. It is such participation that gives the people the pride of place in the ownership of a project at completion. The principle of self-help enables a group, because once you have gathered them for a project, that means you want to do it on self-help basis. He said the principle of self-help enables a group of people to exploit the advantage of the resources available to them instead of allowing them to stay dormant. If you don't gather them, you don't walk through them, you don't mobilize them, you don't catalyze them, everything about self-help will be dormant. No work done, nothing to catalyze or put them into action. Community associations are veritable organs for rural mobilization and development and should be used effectively for development by leaders. Also, by uniting efforts with the government, the community moves towards improving their socio-economic and cultural conditions and integrating themselves into the national life. Examples of community-based organizations we can find in Nigeria. One of them is the community development associations, or what you call town unions, or community unions, or village unions. All of them are categorized under community development associations. And during my doctorate, that was what I researched on. I looked at fund mobilization by community development associations and the uses into which they put these funds. And what motivates them, what propels them into such actions. That was my doctoral presentation. Then you have women associations. These women associations can have different variants. It can be traders, it can be people, seamstresses, it can be fashion designers. Name it, just women groups. You can have youth organizations in the churches, in the social clubs where they formed, or marriage groups, and so on and so forth. Then you have credit groups. In Igbo land they are called Isusu. In Yoruba land it's called Ajo. In Hausa it's called Adashi. There are several variants of these credit groups. Some contribute and rotate among themselves. Some contribute and keep it at the end of the year, they will share. Some contribute and save in the bank or whatever. There are several variants of the credit groups. There are also the rotatory mutual farmers groups, where 1, 2, 3, 4 will organize ourselves into a group. This week, you'll farm in my farm. The next week, we go to her farm. The next week, we go to this one farm. The next week, we go to this other farm. Whatever we provide for ourselves, that's what we use as our lunch. That's the payment for the service rendered. We do it throughout the farming season, and that's how we get our farms cultivated. Then age grades. These are people who are born within a space of 3 years or thereabout. It's more common in the south of Nigeria, where you have age grade system. You form from childhood when you realize yourself that that man there is your mate, that other one is your mate. Maybe you're in primary school, you realize that you were born about the same time. You start forming your age grade. You can also use that age grade to do rotatory mutual farmers group. Some of you can organize yourself and be rotating farming mutual aid to yourselves. There are also trade associations, like I've mentioned, the Women Traders Association, the Men's Traders Association, the Potato Traders Association, the Rice Traders Association, and so on and so forth. Then you have the officially registered ones, like the cooperatives. We also have them in rural communities. So like I earlier mentioned, because government cannot provide everything, you form these community-based organizations to help you in achieving what you need. What are the strategies that have been used both by government and individuals or communities to achieve rural development? Mostly during the military era, there was what they call the matching grants. Here, a community, like I mentioned, they can engage in establishing a school, doing rural electrification, providing boreholes or whatever. The government will come in and provide some technical advice, or they can give 25% of whatever you say it will cost you financially, or they can bring managers, people who knows that thing you want to do, to help you. While the community will contribute all that cash, which will also come in form of labor, which can also come in form of materials or equipment with which the project will be executed. Then direct approach. Here, government or donor agencies bring what is required to execute the project. People's involvement is minimal. That's the people who own this project. Who are supposed to own the project is minimal. The government said, yes, we have found out that people don't have water. We want to site water for you. Whether you come there to see what we are doing or not is immaterial, but the thing is that we have found out that you don't have water, we want to put water for you. The community's psychological, that's the problem, and moralistic feelings about the project